What's up, guys? Welcome back for another video. Today we are doing a meal prep video. I filmed this about a week and a half-ish ago. I just been trying to figure out how I want to structure the video and go kind of forward with it. So here we are. But today we are going through a time-lapsed video of everything I made for my 60-day meal prep, or 60 meal prep. I eat about 2 of these a day. So let's get right into the video. We're getting that meat into the slow cooker. Got to get that seasoning, apple cider vinegar, right? Always got to make sure we got those essential ingredients. You don't have to do this, but I add baking soda to my meat, especially my beef, to retain the fat, especially for the macros. I love onions, so like the next thing I'm gonna throw in here is onions, and I don't see why you wouldn't. Who doesn't love onions? But if you don't love onions, then hey, throw some green peppers in there. So I throw a little bit of water in there. You got to put some water in for the seasoning, but you throw the onions in there. This is the kind of like a electric Dutch oven or electric oven that my mom's had in the family for like forever. So appreciate it. Thank you, Mom, for helping me cook in your kitchen. We're also doing red potatoes, and I love red potatoes. They have great macros. It's great taste. I just texture, all that. I love it. It's super delicious. So next we're doing the tried and true, which is chicken, rice, and broccoli, which you can't go wrong with it. I like to sear my chicken and then season it and let it like cool down for a second before I even throw them in the oven. These obviously I'm splitting open. They're huge pieces of chicken. Some of these are like 10 ounces. So I like to open them up, throw some seasoning in there. Makes it taste so much better. And as soon as they're done in the oven, you got some good flavor, at least in my opinion. I'm not a cook, so don't blame me. Next, we got the salmon. Salmon's pretty easy to cook. You just make sure it's right at the temp. Throw your lemon pepper seasoning on there. Cut up some lemons. Throw them lemons on there, and you're kind of just done. But this is the hardest part of this whole process, and this took me forever. The time lapse does not do this justice. So what I did is I made like mini meatloafs, and essentially you're gonna take 5 pounds of ground turkey. You gotta get some breadcrumbs in there. It's easy enough to count the bread. So like each piece of bread is like 12 to 6. I can't remember exactly, but it's like 12 to 16 grams of carbs. So easy enough. I love the way these meatloafs turned out. They're very easy to measure too, which you guys will see here in a second. But we got to make a ton of these. So we have 10 pounds of meatloaf essentially being made. And then we're separating those out into 10-ounce pieces. So I go with hefty. Not a shout out, but these are probably the only containers I've ever had that actually work well. Genuinely. Salmon's kind of eyeballed. It's more so of like just getting like some fish intake with some good fats for the week. I eat about 1 to 2 of these meals a week, so we don't really need too much, but I took a weight of like 2 pieces like on average that I didn't show, but they're about 6 to 7 ounces each, so took a piece from each slab of salmon. Now we're finally able to like fry these meatloafs up. So what I like to do is I'll fry the meatloaf, right? Then I'll bake it in the oven to finish the cook. So it's really hard to kind of cook meatloafs without like a form-fitting pan. So I'll make them into like a ball, fry them out, throw them in the oven, and then you're good. But I had a lot to go through, so it's like got to measure these out. If you can't see it, but in this I have a container on top of a small scale so that I can measure them. So like, I'll cook it. I'll weigh them out at like 10.8 ounces. They'll cook down to around like 9.5 to 10, depending on how much fat's in there. But like I said, you throw baking soda in there, you're good. The veggies is I'm going with spinach and I'm going with broccoli. Broccoli's easy because you can just microwave it. I know it's not the best way to do it, but I mean, man, look at that spinach cooking real quick. Easy, clean. I love spinach. I like cooked spinach. Call me crazy, but I enjoy it a lot. One of my favorite meals, genuinely. I love salmon, I love red potatoes, and I love spinach. Great combination, at least for me. I'm getting the macros out. Everything's being weighed. I don't count micronutrients. I don't really count fiber either. At the end of the day, because I'm not the most like meticulously strict person. But at the end of the day, like I just got to make sure I get greens. I make sure I get carbs, fats, and proteins in each of my meals. Now we got to get the rice. So obviously you got to have your rice cooker. If you don't have a rice cooker, it's so much harder to cook rice. This cooks the rice perfectly. I mean, it looks like snow, right? That's how I like my rice. You can't blame me for that. But this is the best way to make the taco bowls. You got to do the veggies, the peppers, whatever, throw the rice in there, and then throw the meat on top. That's the best way to do it, in my opinion. Now we got to weigh the meat out, right? Like I said, there's a scale, there's a container. That's how I weigh everything out. This is cooked beef. It's a lot easier to do it with cooked beef instead of like raw turkey because there's just so much more fat in beef. So it can sway very easily. Got to top these off and we're done. Like that meal's done. To the deep freezer it goes. Lid these babies up. Oof. Chicken, rice, broccoli. Traditional meal. There's nothing better. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I had one 2 days ago and shit, tastes delicious. As we're finishing up here, I have all the macros listed out per container. These are kind of the meals that kind of fit my diet. It's going to be different for everybody else, but if you like this type of content, please feel free to like and subscribe and let me know in the comments what your favorite meal prep meal is. Thanks for watching.